Consider this. If God answered your every prayer, then how would you learn to trust Him? If He answered your prayers as soon as you prayed, then your prayer life would never grow. Your prayer would never develop. Because waiting in prayer develops your character. It humbles you. It trains you to have tenacious faith. I believe the reason why the Lord makes us wait in prayer is because He knows that what we need most is to be changed into the image of Jesus. Waiting on the Lord to answer our prayers causes us to rely on God. Waiting on God is something that all of us need to do as part of our Christian lives. There are times when the answer to your prayer will come relatively quickly. Then there are times when the answer to your prayer takes longer than you would like for it to come. These are the times when we have to wait on the Lord. These are the times when we have to trust God's perfect timing. It simply means we should be placing our trust in God. Yes, we might want something to happen quicker, but God knows the beginning and the end. He knows everything in between. We don't. So there is always a reason greater than what we may see or perceive for God to make us wait. We must never stop waiting on the Lord. This is a promise that tells us that we will be stronger. We will renew our strength only if we wait on God. We will run and not be weary only if we wait on God. We will walk and not faint only through waiting on God. The more we trust in God, the more confidence we have, the more strength we have to press forward, to press on, to run this good race of faith. So I'm speaking to you if you're in a season of waiting. I'm speaking to the person who is waiting on God to answer their prayer request, the person who is waiting on God to act and turn things around. Is your soul waiting for the Lord? Because if you are, I encourage you to wait on the Lord in prayer. As you wait on God, I encourage you to pray today, pray tomorrow, pray the day after that, and continue praying. Don't give up in this season of waiting. Daniel prayed for 21 days. He waited on God for 3 weeks until his prayers were answered. We too must have this same resilience. We must have this same fight within us, a fight to pray as we wait on God. Too often, many people are discouraged when the answer to their prayer doesn't come right away. But hold on to the words in Psalm 40, verse 1, which says, "I waited patiently for the Lord. He inclined to me and heard my cry." Keep praying because God will hear your prayer. Keep praying because God will hear your cry. Furthermore, I want to encourage you to wait on the Lord patiently. When you need an answer, don't force the issue. Wait on the Lord. When you need direction, when you need guidance, don't act on emotion, don't act on impulse, but wait patiently on God because there is a promise that's worth the wait. When you wait on the Lord, when you wait patiently in prayer, God will answer you. God will respond. And He can respond by simply giving you peace in your heart about that issue you're dealing with. He can open a new door of opportunity. So, dear friend, can you trust God with the details of your life? Many people would say yes when answering this question. However, when placed in a situation where they actually have to trust God, a lot of us would struggle in different ways. Some of us would struggle because we don't have the patience to wait for God to act. We're so used to next-day deliveries and convenient services that we struggle to wait patiently and prayerfully for God to act in our lives. However, each of us needs to be humble enough, trusting enough, and filled with enough faith to be able to say, "Lord, I will wait for your timing. I will wait on you." In summary, I want to encourage you to remain steadfast. If you're waiting on God right now, keep waiting prayerfully. Continue to wait on the Lord with hopeful expectation. Continue to wait on the Lord for direction. Continue to wait on the Lord, and He will renew your strength. We have hope that God can answer our prayers. We can have the joy of the Lord as our strength, even as we are waiting for our prayers to be answered. And oftentimes, for some of us, it takes tribulation to cause us to pray with intensity. Now, it's through this repeated process of prayer and waiting that the Lord works to make us trust Him more. Pray more, seek Him more, and lean on God more than ever before.
Prayer and fasting help to silence our minds, silence our appetites, and open us up to be able to hear the still small voice of God. The problem is not that God is no longer speaking. God is always speaking. The problem is that many times we are not listening. Prayer and fasting position us to hear the voice of God and see His hand moving in our lives.
There is power in prayer. So to the believer who finds themselves in a difficult situation, pray. To the believer who finds themselves in the middle of an attack from the devil, start praying. To the believer who finds themselves feeling disappointed and frustrated, pray. Prayer doesn't have to be in front of an audience or the entire church. It's simply about daily engagement and communication with God. And as a believer grows in their relationship with the Lord, prayer becomes more than just a quiet time of communion. It becomes an intimate connection to the one who supplies your every need. It becomes a sacred time to speak to the one who provides wisdom and guidance, the one who moves mountains and brings comfort in times of need. Even though God knows our every need before we make it known, He has still commanded us to pray without ceasing, in fact. He wants us to have that open communication with Him and to rely on Him no matter our circumstances.